always a pleasure to bring you what's making headlines. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, and we are joined by Yusuf Senyama on sign language. Into the bulletin, officials from the Electricity Regulatory Authority have expressed the need for government to invest in an alternative distribution network to have an effective network and stable power in the country. They were appearing before the Parliamentary Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises to answer queries to the Auditor General's report for financial year 2022-2023.
Officials from Electricity Regulatory Authority, led by the Managing Director, Engineer Ziria Tibarwa Wako, have appeared before the Parliamentary Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises (COSASE) to answer queries in the Auditor General's report for year ending June 2023. According to the Auditor General's report, the entity had budgeted to collect 90 billion shillings during the year under review, but collected 77 billion, which was under collection.
What was the basis of your projection in budgeting? Because how do you explain a difference of 12 billion? You're just a small organization.
The Managing Director, ERA, Engineer Ziria Tibarwa Wako, said they projected to do customer connection and rely on funding from government, but the flow of materials did not go through, hence ending up connecting only 12,000 customers out of the targeted 35,000 customers.
So that was a hiccup and affected our repertory sales. At the same time, it also have an implication on the sale of powers. For is arising from the economic shocks that happened during COVID, when funding for the free connection under ECP, electricity connection policy, was removed to manage the COVID environment.
Members of Parliament expressed concern that some people paid money to participate in free connection and it was received by the regulatory authority, but they were not connected.
He has to pay, and he's a taxpayer. And for us, members of we approve the loan here, that very customer who paid is a taxpayer who will again pay this loan. Isn't that double payment to the customer?
People paid money to get that, to participate in that free connection. Money was received. The project was terminated. What happened?
The free connection has resumed. For the customers who had applied and paid their money for inspection under the hybrid, they don't need now to pay the 200,000, because what we shall do and what we are doing actually is to just convert them under ECP, the free connection policy. If this line is out for maintenance, the customers, the other end, could receive power in the alternative. So if we have lines which are missing some alternatives, if there is a fault in the middle, the end user will not achieve power. As per now, based on our assessment, the distribution network needs fair investment, and in our plan, plus the tariff application that we've done to the regulator and the government, we have ably submitted that and mentioned it. We need a minimum of about $70 million for 5 years to have a stable environment.
Engineer Tibarwa says from the preliminary results of the just concluded census exercise, they have a big number of households they need to connect to the national grid.
The census came with 10.2 million households. Out of the 10.2, on the grid, we have about 2.2 million connections. That means the grid needs another 8 million. But some out of the 8, they're on solar off-grid energy. So there is another assignment as a country that we need to connect the 5 million customers And what?
Through rationalization of government agencies, Umeme will be merged with IRA and cease operations next year. Members of Parliament were interested to know how their recruitment plan is going to look like in the budget and how they are going to handle faulty transformers in different parts of the country.
No, because you're talking about the Minister of Energy. I don't know what you think the minister should do as a technical person, because the poles are there, the lines are there, part of the line was vandalized, and when you tell me, say that's all is not our line, Roya says we don't know where the contractor is, I don't know what happened.
I have suggested that let the Ministry of Energy do rescope the pending works, and if possible they can contract other contractors, or they can remit the money to the utilities operating in those areas, and we complete those projects. Because for us, we are ready, but we need the financial resources.
I'm Navka Farida and Gloria Ngwetabenji at Parliament.
Now, the death toll on Hoima road crash that involved Kiku police vehicle registration number UP9799 has risen to 9. The accident that occurred around 3:20 p.m. on Thursday evening at Kitegwa B village in Kabale Parish, Kabale Sub-County, Hoima district left 7 people dead.
Jaladini Salibusula Permanent Secretary, Minister of Trade and Industry, legislators Michael Mawanda, Paula Kamba, Wamukuya Ignatius Modemi, Kiria Julius Taita Nkoko, Advocate Kavundla Leonard, the Principal Cooperative Officer, Minister of Trade and Industry, have appeared at the Anti-Corruption Court for the charges against them. Before Magistrate Joani Asiro, court first granted prosecution prayers to amend the charge sheet by adding Gerardine Salibusurwa and to add alternative counts against the legislators.
Director of Public Prosecutions has the right to amend a charge sheet at any stage of the proceedings, and the only test is whether the amendment is prejudicial to the accused persons or if it causes any miscarriage.
After court, Giladini Salibusura, together with other co-accused, were charged with 19 counts, among them diversion of public resources, money laundering, abuse of office, and conspiracy to defraud government of over 3.8 billion shillings.
Between the months of May and June 2023, in Kampala, at Kampala district, converted public funds amounting to Uganda shillings 200 million for purposes unrelated to that for which the resources were intended, to wit, war loss compensation by the government of Uganda to Buyaka Grow.
Immediately after charge, prosecution asked court to commit the accused to High Court for trial, since this court has no jurisdictions to try the money laundering charge against them. According to the indictment, over 3.8 billion shillings was made to compensate war victims who were affected by the 1981 and 1986 Liberation War.
That the police further established that Buyaka Growers Cooperative Society Limited was not included in the list of beneficiaries of the war loss compensation to the cooperatives in the request for a supplementary budget for the financial year 2021-2022 by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives.
Although there were various groups of war victims that were meant to benefit from these monies, the alleged Buyaka Growers Cooperative Society Limited was just smuggled onto the list by PS Geladine Salibusurwa, who also set up a parallel verification committee of war claimants.
That in investigations into the budgetary allocations and disbursements of public funds revealed that the war loss compensation to Buyaka Growers Cooperative Society was not initially budgeted for in the 2021-2022 financial year budget 29.
Investigations further revealed that Member of Parliament Mawanda used the part of the alleged money to settle his pending lawsuit with engineer George Tulia Akire before the commercial court MP Wamakuya Ignatius is alleged to have used the said money to pay long-standing debt with the money lender. The indictment further shows that the alleged money was deposited on Chidian Company Advocates' account on the behalf of Buyaka Growers Cooperative Society Limited. However, the alleged cooperative received only 290 million. Prosecution relied on 36 exhibits during that trial. After reading the indictment to the accused, the six were committed to High Court for trial.
In the premises, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 further remanded and A6 remanded to appear at a session convenient to the said High Court.
Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansubuga, UBC News.
Now, of course, we do apologize. That was a court case concerning the embattled Permanent Secretary and Ministry of Trade and Industry, Geraldine Sali Busolwa, and other legislators being accused of charged with offences of conspiracy to defraud government of about 3.8 billion shillings. And we hope that that story about Kiku police, the death toll in Kiku, will appear in our subsequent bulletins. Now over to Namibia, where sub-Saharan countries have been called upon to invest significant resources to bridge the existing digital divide. The appeal was made during a benchmarking visit by the Namibian ICT Ministry to its counterpart in Uganda.
And then we'll also see how the number of...
There is a wide digital divide between the rest of the world and Africa, says Dr. Chris Baryomusi, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance. In this information age, Uganda and Africa cannot afford to lag behind, says Baryomusi.
It's important to learn from each other. Yes, we have a huge digital divide in the world. The global north has made a lot of advances in terms of technology, and we in the global south, particularly sub-Saharan Africa, we still have a lot of work to do.
The importance of collaboration among African countries for faster digitization growth and development is vital, says Sebastian Karupu, the Chairman Standing Committee of ICT in Namibia.
We really have benefited a lot from Uganda in terms of information, communication and technology. You are very far ahead. We really have chosen the right country to come and get what we really came for. We have come here to learn about the e-parliament, e-learning, e-health, and many other institutions that are also making use of digital services.
A challenge of funding was cited in this benchmarking visit by the delegation from Namibia. The visitors and the host agreed on the need to financially support innovators and innovations to help them scale.
For any economy to transform, you have to support the innovation ecosystem. You have to support these young people. You have to create programs around that. Otherwise, they will run in a field where they don't know what to do in a structured manner. So for the innovation spaces, we know that if we support these innovations or innovators, we are going to be able to create employment opportunities for our young people. We are going to be able to generate revenue.
Namibia, with a population of about 3 million people who are sparsely populated, the visitors agreed that this visit will yield fruits. Mario Nawori and Stephen Kalisia for UBC.
Now, just a few hours after her appointment by President Museveni to chair the Petroleum Authority's board, Ms. Linda Viribonwa and the team that she will lead for 4 years has been inaugurated. The board members, some freshly appointed and then others serving their second and last term, were tasked to deliver fast commercial oil as per the 2025 timeframe.
The Petroleum Authority of Uganda has inaugurated its new board of directors. The 7-member board, which will serve for a 4-year term, is chaired by Ms. Linda Biribonwa, who was appointed yesterday by President Yoweri Museveni. While presiding over the inauguration, the State Minister for Energy, Okasa Yopolot, highlighted the tasks ahead concerning the development of the oil and gas sector.
We want the oil out. And here they say as soon as possible. To me, I'm not satisfied with as soon as possible. It is vague. I actually want to see the oil out before the end of 2025. And I'm the type who wants to bring everything forward. I don't want it to go later. I really don't like delayed things. We have had those types of things, but we have got to try to be in tandem with the targets that we have set.
Okasai's sentiments were echoed by Irene Batebe, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. Batebe underscored the need for the board to hit the ground running in order to ensure Uganda meets its commercial oil production targets.
The other aspect I wanted to highlight is the board, this board, which constitutes of both new members, but also another part of the board that is going to serve its second term, are coming in at a very critical moment as we move to attain first oil, meaning that their job or their work is already clear-cut, and they must hit the road running, because we're already in motion and they need to quickly hit the road running, understand the work that we are doing.
Ms. Biribonwa, who had served as a member of the previous board before being promoted, expressed enthusiasm for the role, noting that while the assignment is challenging, it is also exciting.
I am confident that the board will exercise its mandate to ensure the objectives of the authority are met in regulating and monitoring the oil and gas sector. On behalf of the board, I would like to congratulate you all, Honorable Minister, the PS, and the Ministry on the achievements of the key milestones achieved to date in the sector, and pledge the board's unwavering commitment and support going forward.
Other members of the board are Dr. Kevin Mwanje, Adrian Bukenya, Doreen Kabasindi, Bernard Ongodia, Professor Vincent Bajire, Salome Galiwango, and Mary Oduka Achan, Dennis Igoa, and Juman Samba for UBC News.
Thank you so much, Dennis Sigona. Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority, UBRA, has sensitized the informal sector on retirement savings. The Director of Supervision and Market Conduct at UBRA, Nabakoza Daisy, says there are 26 million people in the informal sector who are not involved in the retirement savings schemes.
UBRA officials have sensitized the informal sector on a retirement savings scheme to help them save for their old age.
From this engagement, we have seen the will, because it starts with the willingness for someone to actually participate. And today we've only met about 300 people who are going to go back to their various markets, to their various jobs, and talk to the various people in those areas. Because once your leader comes and talks to you, then you consider the option. But also looking at a scheme and how it works. If you have a scheme that is successful and members actually benefiting, that also drives members to continue participating.
The scheme will also include health insurance package to help the people in the informal sector get proper treatment for them and their loved ones.
Sincerely, we have been losing a lot of money. When you lose somebody in a market, you have to pay a lot of money for easy burial, transporting the body, and all those things. So in this program, where somebody is going to be saving for his retirement, we also put some kind of insurance package where we shall be looking after somebody. If you are sick, we can look after you while you are on your bed.
This initiative is also meant to help government reduce on the external borrowing.
By doing what we are doing today, government is going to get a lot of money through this program, so that now they can invest the money
in most of our things that we are supposed to be doing as a government.
Winnie Ainemba Katwire, Tanaba Kenneth for UBC.
Now, culture is one of the pillars of sustainable development since it can promote economic growth in form of cultural tourism, handicrafts, food, and environmental sustainability. The commissioner in charge of culture and family affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Naumo Juliana, says promoting culture contributes directly to the realization of sustainable development goals.
Equality, decent work and economic growth, reduced inequalities, and peaceful and inclusive societies are some of the special development goals Uganda cherishes to promote through observing good cultural practices. These good cultural practices and exhibitions, however, are short-lived as some of the community practices and norms continue to infringe on the rights and privileges of women and children, a thing contradicting the well-being of society.
The one which is obvious is female genital mutilation, which is happening in some parts of the country. And although there has been a very high rate of reduction, it is still continues to happen.
Violence against women and girls is a pervasive and complex problem that affects all of us within our societies. I want today someone to come up and say for us in our institution, in our district, in our community, we don't have those cases.
Commissioner in charge of Culture and Family Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Naumo Juliana Okorio, says they invited cultural leaders under the umbrella of Council of Traditional Leaders in Africa, Uganda Charter, to harmonize on some of the hindrances to the rights and privileges of women and children.
There's still a lot more to be done to enhance prevention and response of women and girls in and out of school, as well as adolescent girls, in order for them to have access to quality, multisectoral, integrated sexual and reproductive health rights, stroke gender-based violence information and services.
The Principal Gender Officer and Coordinator Spotlight Initiative at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Akumu Christine Okot, says that the Gender Ministry, through the Spotlight Project, is traversing 12 districts and government ministries, mobilizing cultural leaders, religious leaders, local leaders and workers against the vice of gender-based violence.
It's supposed to ensure that issues that affect women, especially their reproductive health, is taken care of, and then there's need for mindset change so that it reduces the incidences of gender-based violence in the community.
The Interreligious Council Coordinator, Rwenzori Region, Reverend Ezra Yongeza Mkonzo, says the public should be made to appreciate the issues of creation and be able to respect themselves and stop the violence against women and children.
We need to know that none of us made an application to be what you are. It is by God's grace that I was created a man. It is by God's grace that my wife was created a woman. None of us made an application that I want to be created male or I want to be created female. So there is no need of violating one another's rights.
Among the shocking survey findings on violence against women and girls by WUBOS 2020 were that almost all Ugandan women and girls, 95%, had experienced physical or sexual violence by partners or non-partners since the age of 15. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, youths living in ghettos of Kamucha have raised concerns about discrimination in government programs, leaving them in dire living conditions. These grievances were aired during a meeting with the resident city commission of Kampala Central, Edrin Ebenezer, who visited the area to witness firsthand the plight of ghetto residents.
Frustration boiled over in Kamocha, a Kampala suburb, as youth confronted the resident city commissioner of Kampala Central, Edrin Ebenezer, regarding their exclusion from government programs.
nendagayendaga muntu yange bikimu nekiggwa byonna naye nga nokizuula ate nga abalala abakulukulu nebakoze eki nebawadde sente naye nze nga sifunye ze omudaala gwange guli awo
omudaala gwo okolaki
ogwa chapati
nabana balina ebirala bye bakola nga tusobodde okufuna sente ziri za sisitimu eri kuba be bangi.
The crux of the grievances lies in the Myogan Parish Development Model Programs, which are government's flagship initiatives aimed at poverty reduction.
Ababbi ne bavanga eri ne batwegatamu ne babakwata ne batwaliramu n'abaana baffe ate nga bo tebalina bisango. Kati ngasobola kati tulinawo laawo bamukwata, tulinawo ne muganda wa Bima bamukwata, abaana bonna tebalina buzibu.
Led by Shafiq Ali of the National Ghetto structure, the residents also highlighted ongoing issues like harassment by security forces, among others.
Programs abana ba ghetto babadde bafunamu kitono era nga twebaza president w'eggwanga yateekawo program eno ya ghetto structures okulaba nti kati essaawa eno batandise okulowoozebwako era wazimbiddwawo omusingi okulaba nga nabo balina okufuna ku ssente za gavumenti nga PDM n'emyoga.
On his part, Ebenezer assured the youth of a prompt response to their concerns.
Gavumenti ogwaye gukoze. Yes. Government sente zisindise mbagambye mu Central Division tulinamu obuwumbi 6 obw'emyoga. Tulinamu bilioni 3 eza PDM. Mukitegeera nekitegeeza nti gavumenti ogwaye gukoze izibwe njagala okufuna era kati ngagwe assistant admin buno obunanyizibwa mbukuwadde ogambye tolina n'omugwe waddeko sente naye ate waliwo abantu 3 bali wano bamiitinga conditions zizonna ez'okufuna sente. Njagala kusaba sagala kulagira naye nkusaba busabi abantu abo 3 bawe sente.
Jamil Sekaja compiled this report.
Presidential skilling nursery and primary school in Kisugu, that is Ebenezer Nursery and Primary School in Kisugu, is making remarkable strides in preparing children for a brighter future. Now, the school is actively supporting the presidential initiative of skilling the boy and girl child by equipping students with practical hands-on skills.
Ebenezer Nursery and Primary Schools focus on providing students with essential skills for their future. This school has integrated a variety of hands-on activities into its curriculum, ensuring that every child is prepared for both academic and practical challenges ahead.
And we're also teaching them about saving. Now, during our school days, after making this money, we have a circle here. We bring their money, put it in the circle. Then the next item, they again withdraw their money, buy the items, produce.
From liquid soap making, juice making, bread making, and bakery, students at Ebenezer are gaining valuable experience. These hands-on activities are designed to complement traditional learning, giving students a well-rounded education that prepare them for real-world situations.
Those things can help someone like in businesses. People can start selling them, then they earn money. Yeah, that's what I've learned. And the instructor was very polite and he was very nice. He told us that first we have to write the ingredients. When we never had books and pens to write, he told us to go and get them and then we write.
Ebenezer Nursery and Primary Schools initiative aligns perfectly with the presidential goal of skilling both boys and girls. This approach not only enhances students' academic performance, but also prepares them for a variety of future career paths.
In our observation, we have realized that these primary students, they haven't yet seen more in this field of education. Their brains are still empty, that they can easily receive something that is taught to them.
It's heartening to see how Ebenezer Nursery and Primary School is setting a benchmark in education by integrating hands-on skills into their curriculum. Their efforts underscore the importance of practical education in shaping a brighter future for the children. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Amanya gange nze Namtebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyenyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere weewaawo abafere gye bali naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanye eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo mwebale nnyo mwebalire.
Together we're unstoppable. Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow with subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Shocking statistics on road crashes in Uganda show that there were over 23,608 road accidents in a single year, 2023. This highlights an increase of 16% compared to the previous year. The Uganda Traffic and Road Safety Report of 2023 also shows that there were 24,728 casualties from road crashes, with 4,806 people dead, 16,736 seriously injured, and 3,186 escaping with minor injuries. The rampant increase in the number of road crashes and casualties in Uganda is seriously alarming. According to Uganda Police Traffic Report, 80% of road crashes in Uganda are as a result of overspeeding, reckless driving, and violation of traffic rules and regulations. Your life and that of other road users matters. Every life taken or injured in a road crash is an emotional loss to a family, resource loss to a business, development contribution loss to a community, and a socio-economic loss to the nation. Join hands together to reduce and, if possible, eliminate road crashes from our roads by avoiding reckless driving, obeying traffic signs and rules, and maintaining public safety intelligence to keep ourselves, passengers and other road users safe at every time. Remember, drive safe today to live again tomorrow. Tofira kukubo.
Time for business. Now, Metu Zongtong Bus Industries proprietor Metu Katabazi has handed over a customized 67 bus-seater to St. Michael Lubaga Hospital Training School. The bus, designed in Uganda by Metu Zongtong Bus Industries, holds exclusive rights from government to assemble buses in Uganda. Katabazi stated that the company is committed to supporting Uganda's local industrialization agenda.
Metu Zongtong Bus Industries proprietor Metu Katabazi has handed over a customized 67-seater bus to St. Michael Lubaga Hospital Training School. The bus procured by St. Michael Lubaga Hospital Training School will enhance students' participation in extracurricular activities, facilitating educational trips that will further enhance the quality of health training. Ululation and dancing filled the air as the school unveiled the brand new bus since 1956. Sister Jane Francis Namodo, the principal of St. Michael Lubaga Hospital Training School, expressed relief and optimism, noting that the bus will improve students' ability to attend practical training sessions outside the classroom.
You know the way how we have been struggling when we are going in the field. So we are very grateful for the company, and more especially to see that it is within. We have to recognize the finance department. If they were not to save slowly by slowly, time came when we decided but we can use that money which was saved for the bus. But we say, but today, it is a reality.
The tender for procurement of the school bus was awarded to Metu Zongtong Bus Industries, a Ghanaian company that designed and assembled the bus in Namamve. Metu Katabazi affirmed that the company will continue developing local manufacturing capabilities to reduce the country's reliance on imports and facilitate employment opportunities for the youth.
This industry we have for bus, we make these industries for posterity, for the benefit of our children and grandchildren. Why? Because we are educating all these children, you see here. Tomorrow, all of these children, they need jobs. If we don't build industries, where will they work? We shall continue to send them in slavery to the Arab.
However, Reverend Father Felix Kasibante, the school chaplain, voiced concerns about online lending companies and their destructive practices, which have led many youth in financial traps, leading to significant losses.
My dear sons, temugaya mu bulondo bw'ekisirusiru kwikironi mangukashi mbegayiridde. We are paying a lot for all this nonsense. Please,
so when we get a bus like this, we are happy that it's going to add on the quality of the product that is going to come out of the Lubaga Hospital Training School. So for this, we thank God.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Thank you very much there, Crispus Arinitwe. Let's step into the world of sports. And in sports, Uganda's athletes to the Paris 2024 Olympics have been assured of comfort by National Council of Sports General Secretary Dr. Bernard Patrick Ogwell. The team will also not worry about much of the weather, especially in the Games Village, following the collaboration between Uganda Olympics Committee and graphics system. Let's hear more from John Barnes Centum.
The Paris 2024 Olympic Games are now just 7 days away. Uganda will have 25 athletes at these games of the 33rd Olympiad. These are from 4 federations including athletics, cycling, rowing and swimming. All these have reached this level courtesy of funding by government through training, qualification and now promises better at this stage of presentation to the world, and later upon success through government's reward and recognition scheme.
For the first time, government has taken the decision to offer a bit of a lump sum money, which will break some of the pockets of our athletes, because it's huge. As part of a direct strategy to put athletes at the center. of the development of sport in this country. As a country, we are feeling that our moment has also come to place this on top of the agenda of government. I'm aware that government has given us assurance to put money, 3 billion, in this financial year to support, reward and recognition, which is aligned to the National Sports Act 2023. The first test, of course, will come with the Olympics, because the 13th All African Games was the previous. So we're going to set very high standards, and if our athletes win, this announcement will be made by the minister.
With allowances assured, the team will also benefit from collaboration between the Uganda Olympic Committee and graphics system.
The bucket hats will become quite useful because it's going to be quite hot, and these bucket hats, which we will be showing, giving to Team Uganda, will come in quite handy because they'll be able to wear them and protect our team from the elements once they're in Paris. So we're very happy this morning to receive this gracious offer of 50 bucket hats from Graphics Systems, and we look forward to our relationship with Graphics Systems growing going forward.
This new partnership that both parties expect to blossom has provided several bucket hats to help ease the weather, with temperatures at the games expected to be 25 degrees.
This relationship that we are entering in is a very huge opportunity to showcase what we can do in the sportswear. Graphic Systems has a sister company called Fusion Africa, and it is the one that is spearheading the sportswear business. So we recently entered into a business of sportswear. We saw a gap in the sports industry.
The Olympics will start on the 26th of July with the opening ceremony, with the first Ugandan in action being the rower, Kathleen Noble.
Well, that's it from us. Thank you so much for allowing us into your space right from 8 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Yusuf Senyomo has been with us on sign language. It's a brighter good night, but let's hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.